And good Sunday afternoon, everyone. We're here to talk about books. We've wandered away from our caretakers and the men with white coats, and we've agreed to meet here and talk about comic books as usual. It's our favorite subject. So we hope that you all enjoy the next 5 hours and sit back, enjoy this medley of Andy Panda. So, no, we thought we might talk a little Daredevil. And this was suggested to us by the great Dr. Silver Age, who has not joined us as of yet. We're hoping he might show up a little bit later. And Daredevil is kind of like I don't want to say the forgotten hero, but he's like number 6 on the list of most Marvel superhero fans. I don't know if I'm understating that or overstating that, but we'd like to talk about Daredevil, and I hope you'll join us. We have Jackson Roykirk in the audience earlier, and I told him we were going to be starting soon, and he said he'd keep the secret. So thank you, Jackson. I think I'll start off by showing an oldie. This is number 5.
All right.
Oh, cool.
With that great costume. Wally Wood gets a mention on the cover. And there was a little bit of wrangling between Stan Lee and Wally Wood over some sort of writing credit, if you will. I don't know if you guys have watched me talk to Dr. Silver Age. When we did Captain America, for some strange reason, I had Captain America 102, 104, 106, 108. You see the pattern developing. So that was number 5. With Daredevil, we have number 7.
Oh, it's the good one, though.
So you're kind of at odds with yourself.
Yeah.
And so guess what's coming up? Number 9.
Nice.
And you can guess what will come after that. Nope, number 12. I fooled you. So there's Kazar.
Yeah.
That should have been 11 because here's 13. Great. If you need a trademark image of Daredevil, right there.
Yeah.
They probably used it. You guys notice if you take away Kazar and Daredevil, they've got a great little background going here. You could put any of your protagonists in there for a great little dungeon scene. One more Kazar cover. Here's 24.
Yeah.
Like Fabio. That's a good cover, though.
Gene Colan, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Plundar, right? And spectators joining us.
All
How
right.
many issues of Daredevil did Wally Wood do? I can't
Not
remember.
many.
Yeah.
What was it? 10? Was that 10 his last issue?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm not for sure, but yeah.
9. Mine's not as pretty as Micah's. Mine has
What you got? Oh, you got number 9. Cool.
It's got a chip out up there in the corner. But yeah.
Well, they don't have to be pretty to be pretty, right?
Right. I still like it. Wally Wood. And there's a beat up number 15.
The Ox.
Yeah. In a old antique bag.
That's half of my collection, man. Trying to rectify that, but that gets expensive.
It does these days. I mean, it's very expensive doing that these days.
These days you got to buy your bags and
early
boards
ones.
in the black market.
Yeah.
I showed you guys this one already.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
I was getting this one for Thor, really.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, he's going to clean Daredevil's clock there. They were having crossovers there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. That happens after he helps the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Come back into the Baxter building. Yeah.
That
No,
leads
I just saw
into
it.
it.
That's Doctor Doom, right?
Yeah, that leads
Yeah.
into it. Doom switches bodies with him, and when Daredevil goes to warn them, they think he's still Doom, and that's kind of what leads to that fight.
Living Prison. Cool cover.
Oh, you're talking 73, FF
Yes.
73. Yeah. Okay.
I'll let somebody else show something. I don't have that many of them anyway, so.
Well,
I could show my 3.
I'll do one at a time.
Just get me out of the way because the Bengals are about to score again.
Uh-oh.
Hopefully.
Oh,
sweet.
cool.
Yeah, so I picked these up yesterday, actually. 27.
Another great trademark image. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Spider-Man's kind of a dick in this issue. Then, hey, this will look familiar, but when you only have 3, by golly, I'm going to show them.
Sweet.
There you go.
And then, the first part of the one Jambo just showed.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice cover.
Whew, I'm beat. Anybody else want to go?
Well, speaking of Daredevil 73, I don't have that loaded, but I've toyed with that image before, but I'll show you guys a couple that I did toy with years ago. You guys remember this issue?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Frank Miller.
I sold that one about a year ago. I wished I hadn't.
Once you keep your eyes on the bad guy's white gloves, I decided to mess with him and make him the Shadow.
Oh, wow.
There you
So
go.
Made his hands flesh tone. And then the old costume, I couldn't resist making this parody image. It'll take you a second to find him in the crowd. But
Yeah.
he's kind of a critic here.
Yeah, I would buy the Daredevil Shadow crossover. That would be cool.
Yeah. Well, Shannon, what's your impressions of Daredevil?
I like
pretty
the
cool
character.
dude, or-
I was collecting so much other stuff.
Same here.
I got into Marvel later because I was always a DC guy. And then, when I did get into it, it was like, prices started, going up. But yeah, I'll show the ones I showed backstage before. Number 16.
Nice.
And 17.
Oh, yeah.
Here's 34.
The Beetle. Yep.
Yeah, the Beetle. And 39. $47. That's got a Moody Cohen cover on it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he
A
had some dark
new
cover.
title. The new lettering title.
Right. I wasn't real crazy about that. It's probably my favorite cover.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a really good one.
I think a lot of these I found like in a $5 box at a comic show somewhere. 46.
Yeah. That one.
And 45.
Great photograph looking.
Yeah, I've got the photo collage. I like that. I got some more, but when you guys go ahead and go,
As in the chat, Jackson is letting us know that I think we're not too abnormal. Lots of collectors have more Spider-Man, more Iron Man, more Avengers, probably more X-Men than we do Daredevil. I probably have way more Captain America than a lot of them. So.
Yeah, I've got a big run of Avengers, but as far as stuff like Daredevil and stuff like that, it's just.
I didn't dislike Daredevil. I just never did really pursue collecting him that much. There's another 46. Because, like you guys, I was looking at other stuff, and that was, these bags, man, are horrific.
Yeah, I like that one.
And since he's like a 6th tier hero to us, when it comes to how the important books we have get in the Mylars and the nicer bags,
right?
Daredevil suffers like
he gets the old crappy bags.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah.
The Oxygen.
Yeah, it's getting into the picture frame covers there. I love those.
This guy, Gladiator.
Yeah, that's nice.
And this was getting close to the time that the Black Widow was teaming up with him. And I like that time and that period.
Yeah.
Nice Black Widow and Craven there. She's all tied up, bondage cover. And the old radar sense is not working too good, I guess.
Yeah. That kind of stuff wouldn't fly today.
No. The guy in the leopard spandex, is that what you're talking about?
Well, and the woman being tied up, the guy would probably have to be tied up now.
And this guy, that horrible owl villain.
Wasn't that character in the TV show, but not like in costume?
Yes.
Yeah, Leland Owsley. Yeah.
I always thought he should have been a villain for Batman. I mean, didn't owls eat bats?
Yeah.
Wasn't
That's a good
that
point.
one of their things? Yeah.
Well, I guess you could look at the storyline a few years ago, Court of the Owls or whatever that was.
Yeah, this one's horrible. Horrible shape. So they gave a whole $3 for it.
Still money well spent.
Yeah. Good reading, nonetheless. Still good reading. And I, like you, Shannon, probably picked these up at a con somewhere out of the bargain bin.
Yeah, probably like, okay, well, I got all the stuff I came for, and I got a few bucks left. So
yeah. Get some good old Bronze Age Marvel for a cheap price. We'll do that. And that's usually where the Daredevil was. So that's about it, man.
Well, all right. We could probably spend some time talking about, if you remember, the Incredible Hulk TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And then you heard the big news, hey, they're going to have Daredevil on the Hulk TV show. Isn't that going to be great? And then you watch it and you go,
Was it Rex Smith?
I don't remember the name, but the same disappointment.
Was like a singer and a soap opera actor. Yeah.
And it's the same disappointment when they said, hey, Thor is going to be on the Hulk TV show.
Yeah.
I remember that one too.
So I was a big Thor guy, so I was like all jacked up for that, right?
Yeah.
For that. And, still as bad as it was when I was a kid, and I seen that, I was like, oh, that's great. They got Thor on TV, so.
Right.
Yeah, but they had him as like the dumbest college frat boy you could get.
Right.
I mean, one scene, he's found a 6-pack of beer and he's stabbing them, trying to open them. And, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he had the look,
Sure. Yeah.
Just, it was terrible. It was almost like those scenes in the Endgame, where Thor's all fat and drinking beer. And,
Yeah. Well, let's jump to the 1980s a little. And you guys, if you still have 70s, we'll come back to that. I'm just kind of going by what I have laying around. So we're in this time period. The cover art is Klaus. I'm going to pronounce this right. Jansen.
That's the way I say
it. Is that what you guys do?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever seen that logo before.
So here's $199. And sadly, I'm skipping the 187, 188, 189, the good Frank Miller, where the bad guys were the Hand. And I really liked them. There's some cover artist named John Byrne. I don't know if he's any good or not, guys. What do you? Some people really like him. No, I do too.
Took out Bullseye.
He sure did.
Yep.
And he's out of commission in 201. So, yeah, there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fight these bags. It's too good a cover to be in that lousy bag. So.
Oh yeah.
The Black Widow fights for Daredevil. He's up on the top there watching.
Is that John Byrne too?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the inside art is William Johnson.
Never heard of him.
Oh, you're going to make his mother very sad.
I never heard of him until today.
Yeah. We're sure he was nice to his mother. Another John Byrne cover. It's 203.
All right.
$205. William Johnson, whom Shannon's never heard of, is now doing the cover. So I don't know if these are really collected by anybody, unless you're a completist. Number 206.
Oh wow. Who's that guy he's fighting with there?
I don't know.
That's a good cover.
Yeah, it is. I like the kingpin in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I guess I should know this villain. His name is Micah. Micah Sin, S-Y-N-N, crashes Matt's Christmas party.
Micah Sin.
That's back in your bad days, huh?
Apparently. I'm a good boy now. Here's 208. I have no idea what's going on here. 210. Very heroic pose.
That looks like Mike Zeck.
And it is.
Yeah, that's a good cover. I like Zach.
Yeah.
I'm able to glance at the back and read the words I have. It makes it look like I'm really sharp and I know what I'm talking about.
I do that too.
Here's that villain, the Gale, artist by David. I'm going to mispronounce this. Mazzucchelli.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I like his art.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. I mean, at this point, I had probably long since forgotten about Daredevil, but yeah, those are some good covers and stuff in there.
Yeah.
Pretty good stories, it looks like. I have to get back and read them.
Some guy named Barry W. Smith. Never heard of him.
Yeah, he'll do.
And if we open up the first page, we see it. No, we don't see. Sorry, Jambo. I don't. Jambo found a recent autograph.
I was lucky.
That's cool.
Expecting that at all, but yeah, pleasant surprise.
A very young Barry Smith did the covers, I think, for 50, 51, and 52 of Daredevil.
Unfortunately, I don't have those.
Some guy named Frank Miller did this cover.
Yeah, I think I've got 51 here somewhere.
Probably one of the coolest Daredevil covers coming up here. Maybe like the top 20 covers. Frank Miller.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is a good one.
Yeah, as the inker, you're doing your best to kind of make that look like fog.
Yeah, it looks like
Just
using the old
dots.
toothbrush and
Yeah. Not too bad here. David Mazzucchelli.
It works.
yeah.
He's tied up again. He's always getting caught in traps. Almost as if he doesn't see them, you know?
Yeah.
Is
That's weird.
Widow in quicksand there?
I think so.
Yeah, it looked like she was stuck in the quicksand. It's a cliche, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's in a swamp, so
Yeah, well, there you go.
she's not happy about it.
Pardon the interruption, gentlemen.
Yes.
34-17.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Is that a final?
No, but it's 9 minutes left, and they got to blow a 17-point lead. So they might be approaching safe territory, even for them.
That's crazy.
Klaus Johnson, a great Mr. Hyde cover.
Oh, yeah. See, Mr. Hyde and Cobra would be good villains for Daredevil when they were back in the day when they were in the
Hanging out
Journey
with
into
Thor.
Mystery. Yeah, hanging out with Thor, fighting him. I was like, why? These guys are not.
Klaus Johnson. You're starting to get into a very stylized art here.
Mm.
Lots and lots of lines.
Huh.
I'll take a break to probably get caught up on some chat. Let's see here. The Man Without Fear.
Yeah, that's a great miniseries. Yeah.
Wasn't there a crossover with him and the Man-Thing where Daredevil's he wouldn't burn at the touch of the Man-Thing
113, 114.
Right. Yeah, he was not afraid. He was the man without fear. So
Yeah. What were the numbers?
113 and 114.
Okay.
I've got a bunch of those from that era around here somewhere, but this is really driving the point home that I've got to get organized.
there's a 155 found laying in there. Nice Gene Colan and the Widow and Cap.
You know, I always liked it when Captain America and Daredevil were together. It should have happened more often.
Yeah.
In that regard, Daredevil's very much like the Falcon, that he complements Cap so well.
Cap 2, 35, 6, and 7 is a 3-part crossover with the two.
Yeah, I don't have much.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No problem.
I had a couple of the Golden Age Daredevils laying around here somewhere. I was trying to find them.
There's John Romita Jr.
Oh, yeah.
And they were always throwing the Punisher in Daredevil, it seems. As we approach the 90s.
Is that during the John Romita Jr. run?
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
1988.
Yeah.
We had him shooting him on one cover, right? Shooting Daredevil.
Oh, yeah. That was during the Miller run. I think that's 183.
So you can recognize his face or the artist. Imagine it was all silver. Ron Lim. He did Silver Surfer, so he always has the same kind of jawline. And who wouldn't want to read this great story? It's bound to make you want to just pick it up.
It's a young Captain Kirk.
Baby boom.
You'll never guess who does the interior artwork.
Let's see.
Don't look it up.
Gene Colan, maybe?
Micah back there policing the research.
Steve Ditko.
Oh, Ditko.
Oh, wow. That's different.
It said it on my notes, and I had to pull it out to see for myself. Did I know what I was talking about? Now you're getting into some weird stuff. But I'm not a big John Romita Jr.
No.
I mean, he's good. He has a style, definitely. But there's a bunch of others I would prefer. I mean, the covers are just really weird. Here's the Blob. Yeah.
There's a surfer.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
All right. Picking up the dad's trade there.
All right.
More Bullseyes back. $291. We're approaching 300. $292. $293.
Bullet for the Punisher.
Yeah, but he must have missed.
The hand again.
Now, you remember when I showed you the Blob squeezing them? Well, here. It must be very effective against deer. That's the way you fight him.
That
You
guy's
squeeze
got
it.
a rash or something, man.
Yeah.
He needs to put something
Yeah,
on
I'd be
that.
more afraid of that than getting my back crushed.
Yeah.
So this is the backer board. This was a 4-pack of Daredevil comics that you could get all 4 comics for $5. It was $2.97, $2.98, $2.99, and the 300th issue. And the great thing about this is it tells little kids how to identify a comic book and what to collect. And it tells you all about conditions and the important comic books that they've already made years ago and how to keep them safe and blah, blah, blah. Now, if you guys have boxes full of books, and if you take the lids off, you might put in a few dividers in them, like dividers that have the edge on them. I do that too. And near the end of my, I started boxes for letter D. Here's Daredevil, DA. And just for giggles, I inserted this in there with all the books. So it stuck up just enough. Wasn't too obnoxious because it was near the end of the box and then whatever. But those 4 issues, and I think I have them nearby. He was fighting Typhoid Mary. It's 297.
That was in the 80s.
We're now in 1991.
Oh, because she had the shoulder pads on. I thought maybe she was 80s fashion there.
I think Nick Fury also wanted him to work for them. He had to kind of set Nick straight a few times too. Here's the one before the big 300, 299. Kingpin's World's kind of crashing in on him. And then the big 300th issue by Weeks. I should get that out of the bag. There we go.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, it starts going downhill from this point. 301. I mean, it's not bad. 2. But we're starting to get into the early 90s, and to me, it kind of trickles out. The art's fairly good, but and I always like Tombstone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about him.
But by the time you're getting into this, you're thinking, what are you guys at Marvel thinking? It's
Yeah, ideas are getting thin.
yeah. And so rounding out my Daredevil as we approach the mid 90s. When you're getting stuff like this, I don't even know what in the world's going on here. So you're in 1992, 93.
Yeah, the DJ Chichester era.
Yeah, they're trying to be Image Comics at that point.
I agree, and they lost to me. So,
and then they went back to a variation of the original uniform, just not with the same color, and then it kind of floundered until I think Joe Kelly or Joe Casey, I can't remember, took it over for like the last 15 issues, and they put him back to like the swashbuckling, happy-go-lucky Daredevil, and they had Foggy get involved with Liz Allen because Harry was dead at the time. And I thought that was pretty good. And then they killed that and relaunched with Kevin Smith. And then he killed Karen Page and said, well, I wouldn't have done that if I'd known anybody liked her. So thanks. I have a handful of Daredevils I dug up. I couldn't find any of the old ones, but
give me one more quote here.
Yeah, I probably tuned out of buying comics around 1990. So
I missed another 40-yard touchdown just in that time.
Man, their offense is
blowing them out.
Today, right?
It's 41-17 now, pending the extra point.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Yeah, that's I think this one's. If Red Auerbach were still alive, he'd be lighting up right now.
It must be the streams. Good luck for you.
Yeah.
We if I ever get invested in the Bengals again, we will have to start streaming every Sunday.
Every 16 Sundays.
One thing I'm going to have to bring a TV in here if that's going to happen.
Wow, I said that was a 40-yard rushing touchdown. They're just beating them every way there is to beat them. This is most impressed I've seen them in a long time.
Is it a home game for them?
No, they're in Baltimore.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
this is for being up as much as they are, being on the road at the team with the best record in the conference. This is an impressive a game has been played this year. Period.
Defense is playing good also.
Oh, the defense is outstanding. I mean, Lamar can't do anything.
Might be a new era, Eric.
Well, those of us that have been in this state as long as we have, know that Bengals gonna Bengal. There's a reason why Ray Lewis had that famous quote, "Same old Bengals." He couldn't even bring himself to pronounce the name right. Right. So I'm gonna have to see a few more of these before I say anything about a new era.
Right. I said could be.
Yes, could be. It would be great if they were.
Yeah, we'll see.
But as long as Mike Brown, who apparently is immortal, owns that team, you can't get too excited.
Yeah. That's true.
He'll find a way to fudge it up, right?
He's been doing it for ever since Dad died.
Did you say you had a few? And
I do.
You?
I do. Let's start with a couple that are really worth showing up. I know we've seen it already tonight, but I'm never going to pass up an opportunity.
Yeah, yeah,
that's beautiful.
It is. I love battle covers, like the one-on-one hero covers.
No, that's Kirby, right, Eric?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, Colin on the insides and Kirby on the outside. And then someone mentioned in the chat that the series took off once Black Widow got there. It's been the 10th anniversary, November 71 covers. And that's the issue that introduces Natasha to the series.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that one. It's one of those, that month they had all the square bounds.
Yeah. And then the rest of these are just kind of fillers. Here's 234. There's that man again, Mr. Hyde, 235. And this is one I always thought if there was ever a mismatch, it would have to be Claw versus Daredevil, and the cover's kind of bearing that out.
Yeah.
So here's 239.
They should have the Claw versus Banshee.
Yeah, really. That would have been a good one. Somebody should have thought of that.
Yeah.
I picked all these up for $1 at the other local store about 2 years ago. They also had like 5 of the Miller Daredevils for $1. But at the time, I wasn't really concerned. Since I had them in the trades, I didn't even bother to spend $1 on Miller Daredevils. That was brilliant. 246. Yeah, 45 years in this hobby, and I do not do very many smart things. 247.
Well, that's a great Gator cover.
That is a good one.
There's one we've seen before. 250. There's 251. Getting that holiday spirit. Oh, Kingpin Christmas.
Oh.
Nothing says
Merry Christmas, Daredevil. And Jackson's running for his life again. He throws a lollipop. Ooh, almost picked off. And we saw that one already. Here's 259. $260. And closing it out, $266.
Excellent.
Got a bunch of them in the low 100s, and they're in this room somewhere. Unfortunately, there are 32 or 3 short boxes in this room, so it's.
Yeah, I don't have that problem. Yeah, I still got a little stack here. Some more Silver Age.
Nice.
There we go. Very good.
Who is that character? I don't even know who that character is behind him. It looks like a cross between Iron Man and Hawkman.
And the Swordsman.
Yeah. Does he have a name?
Yeah, I can't remember.
I just thought it was a nice cover. Yeah, Eric, here's one of those Barry Smith covers.
Cool.
Yeah.
Back when he was more of a Kirby guy.
I always like this cover.
Yeah. That is very cool.
Yeah. And against the dreaded Stunt Master. And more Stunt Master.
Stuntmaster should be in the Human Fly.
Right.
He ended up in Ghost Rider.
Oh, really? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Number 57.
And that is not a hoax, not an imaginary story. That actually happened.
It actually did. Yeah. More with Black Widow.
Oh yeah, cover.
Yeah.
It's falling.
78. I got a few of the Miller somewhere here. There's a few more Black Widow. Show first. Get my stack out of the way so I can show. Number 93.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, I like this cover. 92. The Blue Talon. Re-enter the Indestructible Man. Okay. 125. Yeah, I think I must have picked most of those up, those Silver Age, like all in one box or something. We're into the Miller era here. He's 182.
Oh, yeah. Very good.
Like I say, I did have, what was it, 157 or 158? Was that the first Miller?
158, I think.
I think yeah, it's 58.
Yeah, I sold that one to Todd. 184, 185. Of course, everybody knows this cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty beat up, but
I still wish I had mine.
yeah. We have a king size special number 2.
I think that reprints king size 1, or I don't know.
I'm not
It's
sure.
been so long.
Is that the same character was in the other one that I didn't know?
Probably.
Yeah.
There was kind of a weird looking team up of villains. They all had animal characteristics.
Yeah, I know. I don't know who any of them are.
Yeah, not very memorable. Just we remember them, but we don't remember anything about them.
Yeah. Micah, did you sell this one earlier or?
No.
Okay.
No, but I like the
Stilt
Gladiator, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Stilt Man, Gladiator, and
Electro.
Here's one with Stilt Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's about all I got, guys.
Well, I think we're getting exhausted in our what little we have of Daredevil, but it just goes to prove our point. I thought the story that Stan Lee wrote about him pretending to be his playboy brother, you remember early on, Eric will remember it.
Mike Murdoch.
Yeah, I just didn't care for that. Maybe some guys did, but I thought, oh, you really liked it?
I did.
Well, convince me, because what am I missing?
There's always that guy.
He's like this. Hey, I'm a cool guy, and
All right. Daredevil and the X-Men were the two soapiest books that Stan was doing.
Yeah.
And he was worried that Karen might get too close to the truth, and he was in love with her, and so he decided to basically create a third identity to throw everybody off the track. So he created his twin brother Mike, who was just a complete asshat, but it made the way he acted as Daredevil, he created an alter ego to act like that too, and make it more throw suspicion off of him. Now I don't know what that says about the intelligence levels of Foggy and Karen, that they fell for it. But recently in the books, and I don't know if they put it on the back burner again. Somebody that had they used, I guess, one of the Infinity Stones. Of course, you can do everything with that now. They created a Mike Murdoch, so there actually is one that's not Matt now. Now it's new Marvel, so it doesn't count. I don't care, but I was, but it just is something to have fun with in those early issues. And then I think in issue 41, they killed him off. And then no one seemed to notice that there was still a Daredevil after that. But it was a simpler time.
That's funny. You should mention him, like having a brother. Wasn't there like back in the old World's Finest in the 70s? Didn't like Batman have a brother that nobody knew about, and he was crazy?
Oh yeah, Superman did too. He had that one that was chained up in
right
somewhere. And and whatever mood Bob Haney was in any particular time. I mean, that's what gave us the original Super Sons.
I love that stuff. I mean,
sure, but
why don't they ever show the faces of their mothers? Of course, you're like, okay, Lois Lane and I don't know, Vicky Vale or somebody, but I always thought that was kind of cool.
Well, that's how they finally convinced the Super Sons that they weren't real. Was they asked them and said, "Okay, sons, who are your mothers?"
Right.
And they couldn't answer it, and then they basically went and uncreated themselves, because at some point DC editorial or the other writers just went to us and said, "Get this shit out of here."
Right.
So
yeah, I got that issue. I was like, oh, that's just kind of a cheesy way to explain that away. It's a computer simulation.
And it wasn't written by Haney, so the new writer just killed him off as the first chance he got.
Sort of like Pam waking up and finding Bobby in the shower on Dallas.
But
it's all a dream.
All right.
Shan, you were mentioning a beat up one, and as soon as Micah gets back, and if I can get full screen for a second, I'm going to show you $1 well spent. But it definitely it needs a full screen for the effect.
You need a full screen for something?
I do. Well, okay, I'm going to show you two more. The first one's just a random. Here's 145. But I got this for $1.
That was a great cover.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
First Electra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the time, I probably overpaid for it. But now I know this is basically going to the Wayback Machine to yesterday, but I also got this for $1 that same day.
Oh, wow.
You're kidding.
Oh, for $1?
Man.
Oh, boy.
So I figured I had a choice. I could pay John Cusack back and Better Off Dead, or buy these two books.
$2.
That's an easy choice.
Can you imagine that it wasn't, it was probably less than 20 years ago that a beat up FF48, that's probably well into three figures as it is now.
Yeah.
It was $1 in those. that's how much it's gone through.
Oh, wow. Guys, I found another little stack. I've actually got that book. Yeah.
So that's what it looks like in good shape.
Yeah, I didn't realize I had that. Strange things happen when you open a box up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. I love those. They come out with these big dramatic titles like "Cry Not for My Forsaken Son" and all that, and it sucks you in. It's like, man, Bob Haney was really crazy. Yeah.
But now, decades later, who would you rather read? I'd rather read a Haney story than a Magan or a Cates any day.
Yeah.
All day long.
Or Bates, I'm sorry. Carrie Bates. Yeah, there was. This month in Brave and the Bold, Batman now has a son who's a brat. Next month he'll be a senator.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like I say, Carrie Bates on Flash and Haney on Brave and Bold and World's Finest. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
But yeah, there's a reason why they called him Zany Haney, and I'm not sure it was a term of endearment.
I loved these ads back then where you had a black and white image, but you had a color title.
Yeah.
And if you were a Marvel guy like me, every now and then you'd get your hands on one of these and you go, boy, I got to grab something. Look at that Witching Hour. That's just awesome.
I did grab all of those.
Yeah, well, you were ahead of me. But you asked me, would you rather have this or the modern? This would reprint stuff where Superman is scooping people up with a spoon. Oh, that's just, you don't get that anymore these days. That's great.
No, I meant, would you rather read Bob Haney than one of his contemporaries? If you could read, if you had a choice between like two books from 1970, one written by Haney or one written by one of the other writers, I'll take the Haney story all day long.
Oh, yeah.
There you go, Jambo. It's got good girl art.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Decent. A hippie.
Good stuff back in
the Suns were infiltrating a hippie commune, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Was that Dick Dillon doing the art on that? I know he did a lot of World's Finest.
I'm guessing that's who Mike Grell was influenced by.
Oh, Dick Dillon?
Mm-hmm.
Never heard him mention that. I mean, I've met Grell a couple times. And, I think he said in books that Neil Adams was a big influence, but I never heard anything about Dillon.
If you look at them side by side, there are some similarities.
Well, see, those were like two of the artists that I loved when I first started getting into comics.
It says down here, it says the cover by Nick Cardy.
Yeah.
But are you guys able to see who drew this?
Is it on the page after that, maybe? In the credit?
Art by Dick Dillon and Vince Coletta.
Yeah, I knew that part. I just didn't want to mention it.
No, I choked it out as soon as I said it to you. Vince was a little better than George Bell. If you saw my show yesterday, every chance I get, like Fantastic Four 25 and 26, great Kirby art, almost ruined by George Bell's inking.
George Bell. I don't know if I've ever heard that name.
I'm opinionated. So what do we got going here?
Yeah, that's actually my favorite JLA JSA crossover. First one I ever read. Daredevil 25.
Hey, Paulo.
Yeah.
Hello, yeah.
Paulo, drop a link for your convention report so the guys can follow you. If you type in Paulo Costa on a search, you get some.
Get the fighter.
UFC fighter, yeah. So.
Yeah, but just to be safe, I'm never going to mouth off to this Paulo again.
Now it would take him a month to get to you. So.
Yeah, but if he's got any of the talent, the fighting ability of the other one,
I see.
Just comes with the name. I'm going to play it safe. How you doing, sir?
Hey, you're talking about cons. I missed the one in Lexington, but I'm actually going to head to Tennessee here in about 3 weeks. There's one down in Gallatin, Tennessee. It's right outside of Nashville. I guess it's going to be like a mostly comic-centric type. It's like 35 dealers and a $5 admission.
When is that?
It's I think it's the 13th, like 3 weeks from now, or yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, it's down in Gallatin, Tennessee, like right outside of Nashville. Like for me, it'd be like a little 3-hour drive. So I said, okay, make a good day trip. But yeah, it's just, from what I know. Yeah, from what I know, it's just going to be like 35 dealers, and I think they're going to have like I think Jerry Mathers and Tony Dow are going to be there from the Beaver Show. But it's just like a $5 admission, and the parking is free. So
both those guys still alive?
That's what I was thinking. I didn't dare say it.
Tony
No,
Dow, didn't he pass?
One of them's dead. That's the special attraction.
They dig up anybody for those old cons, right?
Weekend at Jerry's.
His stunt double.
How awesome
Captain.
is that in 2021? Just a straight up dealer show.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife would love to go. She's started discovering Leave It to Beaver because she watches a lot of what is that? The antenna TV.
The
Yeah.
TV.
TV, yeah. And it has
those.
Leave It to Beaver on it. And she's
We
like,
get cozy, whatever that is.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's the Bionic Woman channel.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she would be glad to hear that.
So Charlton 66 would have joined us, but he's still in the Baltimore con. So he'll probably be having a good
Good on
report
him, yeah.
on his channel any day now. And
Yeah.
of course, Paulo, all the stuff's going on over there in Europe.
Hey guys, I got like one more thing to show. This is kind of off track, but I got these in. I didn't even know these books existed. Of course, you know, Skywall didn't put out a whole lot of stuff, but I found both of these for a pretty decent price.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, these are like they got like painted Tom Palmer covers, and then they like black and white reprints of like old 50s crime comics. I think in this one, I think there's like some old Carmine Infantino and some old Joe Kubert crime stories in here. I was reading through this one the other night, and I was like, man, I'd never heard of these. Of course, you know, Skywall's known mostly for the horror stuff, but these are like the only 2 issues they had of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of interesting, you know, something a little oddball.
Those are cool, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And I don't have anything oddball in my collection. Like all you guys. I just thought that was kind of interesting.
No, those are really cool. There's a they're no, I'm sorry, that's Atlas. Yeah, but you ever seen like the Kirby book In the Days of the Mob?
Oh yeah, I've got that.
World.
Yeah. I wish they would have had either produced more of those. Those were really cool.
I'm going to show one thing from 1992. It pains me to show it to you guys. And what even pains me more is to get this book, I had to make a donation to the United Nations. And I do not care for the United Nations.
Yeah.
But it's Daredevil related. They had a special edition. Hopefully this will bring back painful memories to you guys. It's a number one and only. But it was a specialty book. And it's probably just about mint condition because I glanced through it once. But you have to make a donation to UNICEF to get it. And it was pretty forgettable to me because I'm not a big 1990s fan. This is kind of why I stopped. But I was looking at it, and my notes remind me, hey, there is a poster that came with the book. And when you fold the poster back up, it's white. So my note says, be sure you're looking for this because against the white backer board, you'd forget that that's in there. So I forgot what this looks like, but here we go. Da-da-da. And it's, very early 90s, but it is Daredevil related. And so even though it was called Spider-Man, it's half and half Daredevil Spider-Man.
That was when they were in the alternate universe, the giant thigh world.
So sadly,
the tiny feet, giant thighs,
tiny waist, big bosoms. Yeah.
Sadly, I've probably kept that corrupt organization called United Nations alive. My meager contribution.
That's my favorite movie of all time is North by Northwest. My least favorite part of the movie is the beginning.
Oh yeah, they're on the United Nations building.
There you go.
Right. Yeah.
Of course, it wasn't quite as corrupt in 1959, so it's
Right. Yeah, I love that movie. That's one of Hitchcock's best. Yeah, I got my wife to watch Psycho and The Bird. She'd never seen them, and she liked Psycho, okay, but The Bird, she's like, really? People thought this was scary.
Well, I mean, hey, if you just wax the car, that could be kind of scary if you got a big flock of birds hanging over it.
Right.
So.
Yes. It was 92. We were all younger then.
yeah. Well, that was the year I quit drinking, and I got sober for this.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're about out of steam here. We lasted an hour.
Yeah, we tried,
We tried. Had Rod been here, he would have bailed us out. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You probably got a pretty good selection, or Captain's probably got a good selection too.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
So, Shannon, what are the highlights of all the boxes behind you? I mean, do you have any particular titles that you just have?
Uh,
They're all Kool-Aid Man.
Actually,
I have one up here.
I've
I
got
don't know if you
that
can see
one somewhere.
All right.
Yeah, I see it up there.
You
Yeah.
see it? Yeah, it's Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of highlights. Like I say, I'm kind of going through right now, and I'm putting myself in debt just by going through the boxes, because I'm like, putting stuff on want lists.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to try not to sell the farm when I go to Tennessee next month.
You looking to finish something up down there? Maybe
There's a few things. I'd like to finish my silver, or I'd love to finish Silver Surfer, but Submariner, I'm like 8 or 10 issues shy.
Okay.
None of the big ones I need, and Silver Surfer, I'm probably about 5 shy. But the Mephisto issue is like outrageous, and
yeah. I was lucky. I held on to my Surfer, so.
No, that's cool. Yeah, I'm just trying. Yeah, I've been looking for the reprint that Fantasy Masterpieces #3, or the reprint.
They're charging money for those things now.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, really? They're wanting $20 for that, and I'm like, eh.
The #4 or the #3 or #1. Yeah,
I got 1, 2, and
$4.
4. Yeah, I got one. Oh, you're talking about the Fantasy Masterpieces? Yeah, I got #1. And of the original Surfer, I got 1, 2, and 4, and like a few scattered issues after that.
Yeah, it's #4 is my current Grail. You can see that the reproduction there.
Yeah. Okay, that's
cool.
Yeah,
it's a beauty, man. Again. I mean,
did Fantasy Masterpieces do the Thor cover as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
And is it going for crazy money?
About $25.
Yeah, $25, $30, something like that.
Yeah,
it's a little rough. It's got a tear on the spine there, but
I found that. That's a nice copy. I found one about 6 or 7 years ago for about $60.
Yeah, wow. Now you can't find it. If someone's got one and it's got the cover, they're having it slabbed.
Oh yeah,
and I said I don't like my chances of finding it again.
Yeah. Better hang on to that one. Well, you got the original, Eric? Is that the original back? Oh,
that's a yeah. But I mean, I've had it twice.
Right.
I said, yes, my favorite cover of all time. I've got refrigerator magnets.
Yours and mine both. Yeah.
And they're facing off on my refrigerator. But I said, I mean, I told myself when I sold the collection, I would never get back into paying real money for books again.
Yeah.
There are a few exceptions. I would pay a little bit for that, but I'm not going to pay $600-700 for a book again. But like on paper, a 2.0 is still affordable, but no one's going to keep it that way. They're going to slab it and jack it up accordingly.
Yeah.
Right.
charge you that extra $100 to slab it or whatever. But I mean, it's John Buscema at his best, and my two favorite Marvel characters there. So
I love that one.
I had when I first started when I was 13 years old. I think I was 13 when I got it the first time, and I have a soft spot for those very early back issues because they seemed like they were so old, but in reality they were only like 5-6 years old. I mean, that in perspective, that'd be like finding a book from 2015 now and going, ooh. Spoiler, that never happens.
I thought Stan did some of his best writing in that run, that series too.
This is kind of scary, guys. Apparently, my video yesterday is causing people to spend money recklessly on Fantastic Four 108 and X-Men 34. You guys have any thoughts on those books? 108 would be
right.
And now the thing, right?
They reused the Kirby artwork that he left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and made that weird story that kind of they have to go back and explain what's going on.
What was the X-Men?
It's not ringing any bells.
I don't remember what the X-Men.
I don't either.
34 was. What was the deal
I'll
with
go
that?
look it up.
Yeah, I can't remember because the 35 was when they met Spider-Man, but I don't remember what 34 was.
Yeah.
Of course, when you type in X-Men 34, you get all kinds of nonsense.
Well, fortunately, Marvel books don't make it to 34 anymore, so there can't be that many of them.
Kazar.
I was going to say Kazar. I mean, but yeah.
His second appearance, because he was in number 10.
Was that the crossover where they had Sauron?
I'm sorry. I just looked at it from a distance. It's Tyrannus, not Kazar. Let me show it here. I just saw a blonde guy, and all blondes look the same to me. Here we go. Yeah. Can you guys see that? Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's Tyrannus. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that cover before.
No, it doesn't show up. Doesn't show up too often.
What you were saying about how your video has prompted people to spend money recklessly. I thought something like the 4-color fossils would be a nice, innocent way to get together with people in my age group and show off comics. But the law of unintended consequences, it has really changed what I look for, and it's definitely had an effect on my wallet too.
Right.
Yeah, I'm finding myself getting into the Gold Key and Dale more.
Yeah,
that might be too small cover. You guys recognize it now.
Yeah.
I remember that cover. Yeah, Jimbo, I'm with you. I've been paying a little bit more attention to my Gold Key and Dell stuff. I got one little box of it. Those painted covers, man, they're just hard to pass up.
They were when you were looking at the spinner rack when you were a kid, I mean, they were the third choice always. I mean, you'd look, I would look for Marvel first and then DC, but you, Shannon, were probably looking for DC and then Marvel. But
exactly.
Yeah. Gold Key was always the third choice if there were, or Charlton or something,
Yeah, Gold Key or Charlton. Yeah.
I got started later in life than you guys, so by the time I started buying, they'd already been pushed out of the spinner racks and were pretty much, all but a memory by 1975. So, but yeah, I'll tell you the one that's getting me is the old Archies. You drive to shows a handful of them, and it's like we're off to the races.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple long boxes of that stuff.
And it's got to be all. I mean, only up to a certain point. I mean, the 12-cent Archies I'll buy all day long, and I'll get 15, maybe 20 centers, but not really that much interested past that. But I picked up all those romance comics, and the oldest one I found so far is 1951. The cover artist and the artist for the first story is Harry Lucy.
Oh, I love Harry Lucy. Yeah,
and I'll buy any Archie book with his art.
Have you? Did you see those hardbacks that they came out with Harry Lucy and Sam Schwartz?
I have them.
You have them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got him on my shelf too. I love Sam Schwartz, man. To me, he was Jughead. You know.
I don't know if you guys have been reading this. God Tank is, if he ever joins us, I would not be the youngest fossil anymore. So we're glad you got those, the X-Men and Fantastic Four books. You can't go wrong with that time period. Silver and bronze are outstanding. I like gold, of course, too, but that's a great time to get and great books to get. We're glad you like them as well.
Yeah.
Not me, Jackson. I like anything Gold Key.
Yeah.
Or Dell. This is my non-Marvel pickup from yesterday.
Let me grab
that's
Oh,
pretty
cool. Yeah.
Wow,
And
beautiful cover.
Hey, full disclosure, this is I picked this up with showing it on one of these streams in mind. Yeah, before we started doing this, I don't know how much I would have, like I said, it has really changed how I approach the hobby, and I'm reading. I mean, I used to have a bunch of them. Now I'm reading the ones I reacquire.
Yeah, I had a box had Dell stuff in it, and it was that forgotten box that never got moved or looked at or anything for a long time, But yeah, going back and just rediscovering those and
So that mystery box, that the guy sold me up at Trader's World for $35 about a month ago. About half of that was filled with Charlton and some Gold Key late 60s, early 70s horror stuff. And
yeah, I'm jealous.
Those are a blast to read.
Yeah.
How is it? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
There are two dealers.
Jackson.
There you go.
Go ahead.
And one, they're both very, very nice. One guy has, more. His stock would be closer to a comic book store level.
Right.
The other guy, the video I did where I showed all the romance comics, that was from the guy, not him.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll occasionally come up with a box full of gems. The other guy, I said I think did have a store at one time, and I think his rank and file books are a little bit overpriced, but oddly enough, the better the book, the better his price, because I picked up Spider-Man 102 for $40, and I found Batman 200 for $40, and I was arguing with myself out loud, because when you get old, you start having conversations out loud with yourself. And the kid said, "What if I make it 30?" And I said, "Well, that's not why I was doing that, but sure." So like I said, you get more into the Key territory, the prices are more than fair. So, and he's a great guy. So like I said, that box, I said $35. I mean, you can't beat that. I mean, there probably, wouldn't have been a book in there that would have graded higher than a 3, but that's not why I'm doing this.
It doesn't matter.
No, not even a little bit.
Yeah, I was looking at the guy had a lot on eBay of 6 Charlton Romance, like from the 15-cent cover period, early 70s. He had like $30 on them, and then he just, how you do, you get on there and you'll watch something, and then after a while, sometimes they'll send you an offer. Well, he sent me an offer like 50% off of that, so I got those 6 books for like $15.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, the ones that from the video I did, the guy, most of those were 2, 3. I think one was 4, and they were 12 centers. There might have even been a 10-cent one in there.
Oh yeah.
Because they say there's people out there paying big bucks for it. I'm not seeing any evidence of it, and I mean, I love those books. I love having them, but I'm also not going to go broke, trying to find them either.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, it's one of these babies, in which case,
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I don't have to search anymore. I've got all those now. So.
Yeah, I got all those now.
Hey, that was a 45-year search. So.
I think I might have had the 7 or the 7 and 7 from Young Love and Young Romance. But I'll say in this, I still lament not having these. I had DC 100-page Spectacular number 5. And Paul sold me that for $50 once upon a year.
Oh,
and
wow.
The 2 Super DC Giant romance books, I have gotten one of those back. My comic shop has 2 copies of the one I need for $95 and $100. And it's like a daily battle every day that I have to talk myself out of. But
that's where I got that's where I got one of mine. Those the Super DC Giants you're talking about it probably about a year ago.
With the number,
I saw those on there actually.
That number 5. Hey, Paulo.
Yeah.
Paulo, what's happening, friend?
Yeah. Hey, Paulo.
Hey, Paulo. Give me a second. Anthony has good taste. Anthony, I started the show with Andy Panda, but just before you, God Tank announced that he likes checking out the ads. So this is Andy Panda, right? You know the market for this, but they got all the psychedelic posters you could have got back then. Now, I want you guys to recognize this ad. Ends with Frankenstein. This is the last paper page. Here's the cover. Now, remember this ad, the paper, in case you forget what that looks like. There it is.
All right.
On the back cover. So they had that in there twice. So getting their money's worth.
Yeah, Eric, you're talking about being influenced by those streams. I can't remember which stream it was, but Jambo showed a Dell comic. Had like a giant rope. Was it Neutro? Was that the name of that book?
Yes.
Yeah. You got me looking for that book now, and I've seen several copies, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to pull the trigger soon. I just don't know when, But yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, Eric. I mean, I watch those streams, and of course, I'll get my little black book out and start writing stuff down. And
when I was marking down all the Dell and Gold keys from our store, I remember marking down a Neutro. Then Jambo shows it, and I'm like, oh man, it's cool enough for. Oh, I should have kept one.
Well, that was probably yours. I think I got that at the con.
There you go. It all worked out.
So
did you find that in Lexington?
At that Lexington Comic Con.
Yeah. I always stop at Paul's stuff, and it's always on a Sunday. Though, you always come back on Sunday when I mark everything down.
I loved running into Paul at the cons, man. He always sold me a bunch of books and stuff.
Yeah.
He would always make me a pretty good deal and stuff, and I just liked chatting with him. He would always talk to you for quite a while.
Oh, yeah. I think the last couple of shows I went to there, he showed me like a couple of big stacks of like Joe Kubert war covers.
Those are great.
Guys, I hate to go, but my phone's about to die. Been great being on here.
Shannon, everybody,
good seeing you again, Shannon.
Really good to see you,
everybody go see Shannon's latest video he dropped yesterday. It's very nice. And Shannon, always pleasure. You're always welcome.
Thank you guys.
We have to do this again sometime.
And Jambo, watch Jambo's video yesterday too.
Oh, that's right, Jambo. Sorry about that. I commented on your channel, and it was great.
I appreciate it. Shannon, I'll give you a holler, man. We'll have to go look for some books together or something one day.
Yeah. Are you on the Instagram or anything? Or
I am. Yeah. It's Jambo.
What's it under?
Jambo Comics. Yeah.
Jambo. Okay. I might have already started following you. I don't know for sure, but I'll check. Guys, it's nice being on here with you, and I'll catch you again soon.
All right, my friend.
All right, Shannon. See you.
Take care, guys.
Hey, Paulo, do you? I keep asking you every time I see you. Are you going to upload yet? Are you going to upload yet? Probably like I'm a broken record, but your mic's off. This has been brought to you by Paulo Costa, our foreign correspondent. So, and now back to our show.
Should be okay now.
Yes.
Yeah, finally. Yeah. No, I took the opportunity to post it. We were trying to do a live video on YouTube yesterday. Turns out you can't do a live video from your cell phone anymore on YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah, stupid. And we were trying to do one, just a quick one, because it was me with we have this Portuguese show that I'm on. We're called the Heralds of the Ninth Art. and we were the four of them at the show. So we're gonna take the opportunity to do a short video. Turns out we can't. So I do. By the time we figure everything out, I do a short 2-minute video of me and one of the other guys, and do a whole panoramic view of the commercial area of the con. Because we have the commercial area and we have the artistic area. Commercial areas where we have the shops and the artists giving autographs, and the artistic area is where they have the exhibits, which was in another pavilion. I recorded those. I still have to post them. I'll post them during the week. But we did a 2-minute video, and today I was doing the whole video, showing off all the kind of stuff that we have in Europe. Because you know, one of the things that we like to do about American culture, we like to do it better than you do.
Well, good.
Which is why the biggest jazz music festivals in the world are in Quebec and Switzerland, which is exactly what you think of when you think jazz music. Switzerland.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the same with comics. Who does comics better commercially? The Japanese. Who does comics better artistically? The French. What do you guys do? Nothing. You pay attention to Superman. Yeah, it's exactly. But everybody wanted to do what you guys did, and they did. And after we did what you guys did, we made it even better. Which is why, actually, one of the things that we're doing now, and I was looking at the stuff I bought, and then I noticed I have a gazillion literary adaptations in comic book format. Nobody, you guys used to have Classics Illustrated. Mm-hmm. Now you don't. Me, I'm getting stuff here that's adapted from Edgar Allan Poe, from French writers. I got a French Bill Sienkiewicz adaptation of Moby Dick. Actually, let me take that out. I think you guys are going to get a kick out of this.
See ya, Anthony.
Okay, where's that thing? There it is. Here it is, from Delcourt. Album format.
Oh, here you go.
Moby Dick, adapted from the works of Herman Melville, Bill Sienkiewicz. This thing's probably out of print in the United States, or when it was around, nobody noticed. But no, Delcourt in France thinks, man, this is great. We want to publish this, and we get stuff like. Let me find a couple of impressive pages. This. And that's how you do literary adaptations. Because even when the Americans are doing good stuff, the French pick up on them a lot better than the American market does. And the thing that kind of annoys me when we're all talking about, man, the superhero comics suck right now. What are the independent publishers doing? Nothing. And then the French, oh, well, Bill Sienkiewicz has this amazing Moby Dick adaptation. Well, we're going to publish it, and you guys are not. You Americans should be angry about this.
Well, we're angry that Moby Dick is a cishet whale.
And a white whale.
There you go. Even worse. I can't even with you. I'm
Well, we didn't have Moby Dick our zero identified.
And
we
Paulo,
only know that Hayab wanted to kill it.
If one of us fossils, or myself for that matter, were in charge of publishing, you'd see a lot more stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have the full run of Classics Illustrated. I'm a fan of it. I readily admit it's not always exciting as some of this, but I still like it, and I think you ought to read some of that every now and then. Yeah. So I would still have it there. It would be on the racks, but now there's no more racks. So yeah, we acknowledge there's a problem, but it didn't always used to be like this. The wrong people are in charge.
You know what's depressing about Paulo's very Eglantine-like rant is that there was been 20 years ago, you'd had 3 guys wanting to take you out back and beat your ass, and now it's 2021. We're all making like bobbleheads, going, yep. Everything he's saying is right.
Mhm.
That's how far it's fallen.
Because a European is saying something bad about, our red-blooded America, we'd be like, who does he think he is? But now we
he
kind of
didn't
like,
say
yeah,
anything
we're
that
right.
wasn't right.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, but well, a lot of the stuff that we have, it's because we copied you. Um, the stuff that Alex Raymond did, that Bert Hogarth did, it was really big in Europe in the 1930s, and it was kind of interrupted during World War II. But when he came back, the French had to pass a law that basically said that American comics were bad for the French youth. But the artists knew what they liked, and they were copying what the Americans did, and eventually got around to them surpassing what the Americans were doing. One of the things that didn't happen in Europe was that we didn't lose the other genres. So there's no need to colonize Marvel and DC with bullshit. So you want to do your own bullshit? Fine, whatever. Nobody's thinking that, Asterix is a white male. Nobody says that.
No.
Mhm.
Although every once in a while we get a few more female characters which are new, but nobody's going to like them.
Right.
Well, Asterix has this cast of characters that's well defined, so it doesn't absorb new creations, especially when they're not done by the original creators anymore. But yeah, nobody wants to reinvent those. And especially not in a way that they become unrecognizable. There's a new Corto Maltese album that's going to come out, and it's a kind of a reboot because it looks very modern, and that doesn't make any sense. Corto Maltese exists in that undefined period between the partition of Africa and the Great Depression. When technology was new, but the world was still being discovered by explorers, and you could still go on a 10-year adventure across the seven seas, and trying to put it in a modern environment, it doesn't work. So that's certainly going to suck. So people are going to demand the original back as soon as that one is done. They've been doing some stuff at Lucky Luke, and I put that in my video of the art exhibit, which is in a different style, but it kind of works because people know that it's not in universe. They're still, even without the original creator, like in Asterix, when they do new Lucky Luke, they still do stuff that resembles the original intent of the original artist. But there's still room for those new interpretations, knowing that it doesn't affect what we consider normal. And they're not doing that with this new Corto Maltese. It's supposed to be new, but it's going to fail. Like when they tried to update Spirou, because these things are the characters are defined, and you always know that you can count on the characters to be themselves. There's that aspect of the characters cannot change, and when you start changing that aspect in Marvel and DC, because the original creators have absolutely no control over it, and the owners just see it as a trademark that's adaptable to whatever they feel the market needs, then it's going to suffer. We know that.
Yep.
That was your philosophical time.
We're processing it.
Yeah. Because I grew up reading Marvel. I've been reading comics since I was 4. I've been reading Marvel since I was 6. I actually only started reading European comics when I was 9. So to me, it's superheroes. It is, and I've been reading them for a long, long time. And there was this continuity aspect in the way that they acted and the way that they affected their own worlds, and they were affected by what was going on around them. So I understand them, and then I know that there are how you use the concept of illusion of change to guarantee that there's new stuff that can still impress you when you're doing superhero comics, but there's got to be a core that you can't change. And if you change that core, the characters are no longer themselves. You can't have one of the things that Marvel used to do is when they created a new character using an old name. Sometimes they had to bring back the old character so that they could change their name. That's why
Ghost Rider.
Yeah, Ghost Rider. The Wizard from the Squadron Sinister, and then the Sinister Syndicate became Speed Demon. There were a few other. I'm sure there were a couple of Devastators running around at one time. But in order to create Monica Rambeau, Marvel had to die, and he died in a way that was befitting the legacy of the character. And when Roger Stern created Monica Rambeau, it was befitting to the legacy of Captain Marvel. Yeah, that's it. It kind of looks small, but it isn't. We don't have dealers like you do. All of those shops are either 2 or 3 of the comic shops that we have, plus the publishers. Practically all of the publishers are there, and they use the festival to get rid of a lot of back catalog. Especially when it's been there for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden the book is 50% off 7 years after it was published.
Like the Conan statue you had in that one picture. Very cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the guy that used to sell me the French Conans didn't have Conans this year, so I'm gonna have to order them specifically. I'm missing number 6. And then from 8 to whatever was published. I'm not sure if the series is done in France. It's those comics that have been coming out from Blaze Publishing with the name The Cimmerian. Those are the French Conans. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that some people don't like them very much because they don't have the traditional feel, but they have been trying hard to be faithful to what Robert E. Howard was trying to do. It's just that people are so used to the Barry Windsor Smith and John Buscema and Alfredo Alcala style and Ernie Chan that different interpretations they don't work as well.
Right. A lot of people, that's their Conan.
Yeah.
It's from that era, and they see something different and they're like, nah, that's not Conan. But
can I ask you guys what you guys thought of Cole? Kull. Cole before he's supposed to be there before Conan.
Right. Yeah. Howard wrote those stories first.
Right. What did you think of him? Like the Marvel run, he's Conan the Destroyer, and then
I thought they were decent. I liked them. I enjoyed them. Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole tiger thing was kind of wild and cool.
Yeah, visually they're not that distinct, and after you do the adaptation, in story-wise, they're not that distinct either. Although I think that looking back, Howard had this notion that was not still crystallized because it wasn't the norm, that he could have brands that he could control. He could maybe use them in other ways, but I'm not sure he had the vision to implement them in a way that was commercially viable, because there really wasn't. The pulps were geared to you get 1 cent a word or something, and you publish the story, and then you bring me another one. So nobody really thought about merchandising and other media adaptations. When Hollywood adapted literature in the 1930s, it was from real books, which the pulps were not considered.
Right.
I have the trades that I think it was Black Horse. Is that the right publisher? They printed Cole, but they couldn't print the title or the Marvel Comics Presents or anything like that. But there's 3 of them, and it prints the first run of Cole. And I may be getting the publisher wrong, but it wasn't Marvel. But they had got the rights to. Maybe that's it. I said Black Horse. Oh, because
That's all right. I mean, yeah,
yeah.
you were almost there, man.
I know it wasn't kitchen sink. So.
Guys, I'm going to head out. Very much enjoyed this. Paulo, sorry for running off right after you got here.
No problem.
But
I was having dinner when you guys started. I was still having dinner.
Sure.
So
I'm assuming I will see all of you Wednesday night.
Yes.
Yeah. I have a day. I have a day off on Thursday, so I'm able to
creepy.
do that.
Creepy stuff. All
yeah.
right.
Stuff creepy.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna have to start gathering them up more than 5 minutes. Like I get ready for these streams like I used to do Christmas shopping. So I'm gonna have to maybe start 2 days early this time.
Yeah, well,
bring some of your
okay.
trades.
Well, I've actually got some horror magazines still.
Yeah. Oh, good.
I
good,
can
good.
if I can I'll just have to bring those down before the stream. So anyway, you guys have a great rest of the day, rest of the stream, and I will see you guys Wednesday.
Take care, Eric.
Take care, gentlemen.
Everybody.
Do I have Daredevil stuff? Sure. When I started reading comics, they were publishing Frank Miller's Daredevil. Then they kept on going with Danny O'Neill stuff, waiting for David Mazzucchelli to show up. Then they did a short jump. They skipped a few issues between Miller and Danny O'Neill. I know that they didn't publish Larry Hama's stuff, like the first appearance of Lady Deathstrike. They did the Danny O'Neill. They did the Frank Miller. The Frank Miller Mazzucchelli, and then they kept going with Ann Nocenti. The thing is, by the time it got to the 90s, the way that American comics were published did not give the Brazilian publisher a more elastic publishing schedule that they needed, because there were fewer anthologies, not enough one-shot characters, because there was no Marvel Premiere magazine, and there were no bi-monthlies. The bi-monthlies helped because you could figure out a way to publish 6 different characters in one magazine, because you could skip months. And by the 90s, they couldn't. And then they started paying more attention to the events, and then everything was Spider-Man and X-Men.
So when you say they printed them, is this the black and white stuff that appears with a Hulk on the cover and Nick Fury and like what England was doing?
Yeah, the Brazilians were color, but they were 80-page anthologies.
All right.
Yeah.
So he's sharing it with somebody else, right?
Yeah. Can you imagine reading Captain America and all of a sudden you have an Indiana Jones story?
For a little while, yeah.
Righty. Anyway.
Yeah.
But we didn't mind because you started reading with Disney, and even if it was a Mickey Mouse comic, there was a Donald Duck story, and if it was a Donald Duck comic, there was a Mickey Mouse story. So you were used to having different characters in the same magazine.
We had that in America too, of course. Even if you just got a Donald Duck, in the middle story is going to be Scamp or Chip and Dale. So we're used to that. They always throw in a little somebody else.
Yeah, the difference is we did it with superheroes as well. And when Stan Lee decided that the superhero comics were going to be one story for the whole magazine, it kind of messed everything up for foreign publishers, because now they had to publish those stories monthly instead of, okay, now we'll publish a run of 3 stories from this magazine, and now we get this character and he comes back every month, but then we take a 2 months break, and we come back and do a 2-parter, and now we can use the annual. So Marvel Team Up was great for filler. But those were good stories. We when there were Marvel Team Up stories in Spider-Man, I actually prefer them to Amazing Spider-Man and Spectacular.
Oh no!
We had all those Silver Age books too, like the Tales to Astonish and Tales of Suspense and stuff like that had 2 stories in one book, so they could probably have used some of that stuff, right?
Yeah, the thing, if you have 5 to 7 page stories, even if you have a 30-page weekly format, those were the black and white ones that we used to have.
Yeah.
You still get to pick the stuff that you want to publish. And if you know that one story is good, you can skip it because the stories were supposed to be finite. By the time we got to the 80s and 90s, the storytelling evolved into that you had a continuous story. And there's this interview with the Brazilian translator when he finally convinced the biggest magazine publisher in Brazil to start publishing the superheroes. And they told him, "Oh, but we want only closed stories," which was easy to do if you had DC, but not with Marvel, because now it's 1979. And if you want to start publishing from 72, 73, you have to publish everything. And he had to convince them, well, that's not possible because we have this thing called continuity.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, the too much continuity is an obstacle when you want to publish stuff abroad. Diminishes the return value of the brand, which is why when they finally started doing the more indie characters, when they tried American Flag and some epic stuff, they were not part of an anthology, and they suffered because of it. You had to schedule occasional mini-series because you couldn't do an ongoing. Gru was canceled with issue number 27. American Flag started coming out as anthologies. Of course, they tried to do an epic magazine, and it failed after 6 issues. But then that thing was off format. It was more expensive. Even with fewer pages, it was more expensive than the other ones. And it was the wrong time because Brazil was in hyperinflation. And I once showed how the comic prices evolved in Brazilian comics, because they could actually keep the same price when they arrived in Portugal for a few months, but in Brazil, okay, 4-issue miniseries, 1 month like the 3,000 cruzeiros. Second month, 4,500. Third month, 7,000. Fourth month, 9,000. And in 4 months, it tripled in price.
Yeah.
So you can imagine trying to do something a little more.
So you're getting you hooked in the early issues, and then if you wanted to keep reading the story.
Yeah, but that was hyperinflation, because the same thing happened to bread.
Yeah.
Bread was 3 times more expensive in 4 months. The thing is, you try to do a consumer product for a specialized market in a country with where the majority of population is below poverty level, and all of a sudden the people with a little money have to start saving it, because if they don't do their shopping now, it's going to be more expensive tomorrow. You can't do that. You can't try to be experimental when you're publishing comics. Wrong time.
Yeah.
Mike, I'm probably going to have to get off too. I think the wife is about ready for me to go in and start helping with dinner, because that was my assignment today. And
you're failing miserably.
Kind of blowing it right now. So.
I was just glad I'm just glad you could join us. So.
Well, I had a good time, man. I'm sorry.
Eric wanted to have a distraction for his Cincinnati Bengals, so they end up winning big.
Apparently,
so, yeah. Oh, well. Glad we could help. Hey, speaking of Eric, I joined them Friday and did their little reading. We read Jack Kirby's The Demon, #1.
Right.
And they gave me playlist. Oh, yeah. They gave me like 5 parts. And at the end of that, I didn't have a pencil. I couldn't. Now, who was I again? They had to tell me, you're on. And I had to start reading whatever character was there. But it was nice, fun. Enjoyed myself. So check it out. That's on I Love Comics or Englantine or whatever he's calling himself. And it was a good time. Paulo, have you done one of those?
No, it's England in Standard Time is when I'm sleeping.
Yes, yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, Jambo, we hope to see you Wednesday.
I'll be here Wednesday. And
fantastic.
Paulo, great to see you again, buddy.
You too, man.
Yeah. Did you get any more video footage of the con, or that was all you got to do because of?
Yeah, I have 4 videos to post with the exhibits. So it's something a little different, and it may not be for everybody because they're not used to the brands, the characters. They might not know it, but they're 3 to 6 minute videos, so they're not very long. You can just look at the art. The thing is trying to film art with a cell phone camera, and then the lighting does not cooperate. That thing is going to be a little bit low quality, but I hope to show as much as possible.
I'll check them out, man. All right, guys. Good seeing you guys. Y'all take care.
You too, Jambo.
Okay. Bye, Jambo.
Good evening.
I'm typing a comment for Spectator.
Mm-hmm.
So please bear with me.
No problem. You can pull my little rant out, and you can do a video titled "Dirty Foreigner Talk Smack About American Comics."
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I would have our comics be very literary, and there's so many classics we never bothered to print in a comic format in the first place. Moby Dick has been done before. I think it was also done in the 90s. It was this huge, overpriced 120-page. They probably could have trimmed that down a little bit. They were trying to blow you away with their art, but yeah. I was looking closely at your book. I was trying to think, is that the one from the? No, it couldn't be. But
no. If that thing was, and I'm not sure that when that thing was published in the U.S., but if it was Dark Horse, and probably came out in I think Sienkiewicz had no, it was Barry Windsor Smith with an anthology. But yeah, that thing's probably around somewhere. I just don't know where. I also got this. This is the English language edition of Elric's first appearance in comics, which was not in Conan. It was in France. Because this guy, Druy, he did an audio-visual production for a museum, and he was convinced to publish the art as a story. So it's not as coherent in paper, but it came out about 1 year before his first appearance in Conan, and this is actually Elric's first appearance. So you got this is the English language edition. Is from Titan Books.
So what year is this printed?
Well, this one is recent. So, but it originally came out in 1970. The art was produced for that show in 1968.
Right. Okay. Good. Yeah. Jambo, who just left, likes Elric, and he recently has picked up something new, or newish. Called Elric, and he said it's very disappointing. So he just showed it on this last video. I'm assuming they've tried to update the story and make it very political for today's, or I'm guessing there's something in there that he didn't care for story-wise. So, but he's an old Elric fan. I don't know if you're coming across that or not, but
yeah, I got a few Elrics around here.
The new what I'm talking about, the new stuff.
Yeah, the new stuff. The new stuff. I'm not so sure. I'd like to get more of the original stuff. I know they've been reprinting the Epic first and not first Eclipse comics. They've been reprinting those in the UK, and a collection of that would be nice because they're also doing the Chronicles of Corum and Hawkmoon. So you get the whole of the Elric of the Michael Moorcock universe in comics. It's those things that get forgotten.
Okay.
Unless you reprint them.
Well, what you showed looked great. So.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing that there's not much of a market for this in the used book market. but it's something that the actual Elric fans know exists.
Yeah.
And keeping it alive is a good idea, especially because it's done by the guy who created Heavy Metal magazine.
Yeah. Great art. I am all set for Wednesday.
More creepy stuff.
Did you guys get any Manhunter where you're from?
No, they never published the Kirby Manhunter, but the Manhunters were became big when they did the Millennium. Unlike the US, the Brazilians didn't think that Millennium sucked because it came out in the anthologies, so they could pick how they were going to publish Millennium. So you'd have parts of the miniseries intertwined when they appeared in the JLA, in Booster Gold, in Superman. So you could if you bought all of the DC comics every month, for 3 months, everything, and the story makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I imagine.
That way it was better. So they ended up publishing the Manhunter book that was a spin-off, the one featuring Mark Shaw.
Okay.
It was published alongside the same magazine where they did Suicide Squad and Checkmate. So it was a bit more out there.
All right.
Those were pretty fun books when they tried to be a bit more adult without being more adult.
What we got here?
Yeah, it's understandable.
Yeah. Well.
Yep. Well, if you're done, I guess we can stop. I just showed up in the late, so
no, that's
no
fine.
problem.
Yeah. No, this was great. These are all impromptu. Anytime I do something on the weekend, it's impromptu. So I never know what to do or how to start it or end it or in the middle. We just ramble like a bunch of old ladies just rambling. So
that's how you do good 2 to 3 hour streams.
Yeah.
People drop in and out. Everybody drops their 2 cents.
Sure. Well, Paulo, will you be joining us Wednesday?
Yeah. Like I said, Thursday's my day off, so I can go. I hope I'm not too tired because I'm having to wake up a bit earlier than usual for my shift. But I'll try to stay up. If I'm not off, you guys yell.
No problem. We will. We have to a bad start today. I lost power just as I was hitting the button to go live. And I was telling them, I called one of them, Shannon, and I said, let the other two know we lose our power. I lose my Wi-Fi. So for about 8 minutes. But we managed to get this in about an hour and 52 minutes. So it should have been 2 hours by now. But yeah, I look forward to everybody coming out Wednesday night, and you'll see more stuff like this. I know it's riveting, and so yeah, be sure to join us Wednesday night, 8 Eastern, and Paula will be there, and the whole gang as usual. So good night, everybody, and have a great day.
Good night.